a look at this. Did you know this? Have you ever seen this? Have you ever read it? Would You Rather by John Burningham. For me, this is a classic from my childhood. It's probably my favourite picture book ever. There's some, other content up there, like Where the Wild Things Are, for example, but this is probably the book that I spent the most time looking at and agonising over, and having read to me. I've since read it to my kids. It's a great book because, and I know there's lots of things, lots of spin-off things like this. There's board games, I think, as well, based on the Would You Rather theme. But for me, this was the original, and this is the best. And what I like about this is not only the illustrations are a bit magical throughout, but the actual choices, they're really well illustrated, and they really make you think, and I'm like, I don't know. So let's have a look inside, and let's consider some of the quandaries that it poses. Okie dokie. So it's a nice hardback book, and you're greeted with orange and the sun's out. And that's lovely. So, here we go. Would You Rather, John Burningham. It's quite an old book, this, by the way. I don't know when it was published, but you may have noticed there's a bit of kind of damage to it, and the pages are a bit brown in places. Okay, so let's see, when this was published first in 1978. Would you believe? So, Would You Rather, there is the child, which I felt was well drawn because you weren't quite sure whether it was a boy or a girl. It was quite good because therefore it appealed to, everybody. And they're coming out of the house. And automatically we have here our first problem or conundrum. So, would you rather your house was surrounded by water, snow, or jungle? What do you think? Snow is always fun, isn't it? And it means you probably don't have to go to school, etc. So I felt like that was something you probably would want. Water, not so much fun. I mean, yes, they're making it look good because they're paddling around on an upside down table like a raft. But, think about as a child, you didn't have to think about the things that grown-ups think about. The damage to electricity, how are you going to dry out the carpets? Will the insurance pay out, etc. Doesn't look like they've got any neighbours either. So no one to come and help. And the jungle, well, it would be fun to have all these animals. An elephant in your front garden and a zebra, who wouldn't want that? But think of all the snakes and all the the beasties and insects that might infiltrate into your bedroom. So I don't know. I think I always went with snow. Snow's fun. And snow does go away of its own accord, normally. Okay, next one. Would you rather an elephant drank your bathwater? Nothing too bad about that. An eagle stole your dinner. Well, if you're hungry and it steals your dinner, that's not good, is it? Plus, the child is rocking. It's going to have a nasty accident in a few seconds when it hits the floor. That's not a good option. A pig tried on your clothes. Well, I always thought pigs are generally a bit smelly because they just roll around in mud and poo and stuff, don't they? And they're going to get that all over your clothes. You're probably never going to be able to wear those again. Similar for the hippo, that's going to make your bed very smelly and dirty. Might do a poo whilst it's asleep under that duvet. So that's not good. And where are you going to sleep as well? So I think I'm going to go with the elephant drank your bathwater. Okay. Would you rather be covered in jam, soaked with water, or pulled through the mud by a dog? Now, again, as a child, I think I probably normally chose the bottom one because it looks fun. People like getting muddy. And people love dogs. But what happens if you, go over some roots or some sharp stones? That's going to hurt. You may never recover from that. So covered in jam, you can have a shower and, put your clothes in the wash. You'll recover from that. Slightly annoying. Soak with water. That might be fun. And if it's really hot, if it's a heat wave, then it might be quite refreshing even. So I'm actually going to go with soak with water. So these have been fairly easy so far, actually. Would you rather have, so we're talking about the left-hand page here, would you rather have supper in a castle, breakfast in a balloon, or tea on the river? Now, I can never really decide on this one easily because they're all pretty pleasant, aren't they? Probably enjoy all of them. If you've got a fear of heights, you maybe don't want to be doing the breakfast in the balloon because you might not really be able to enjoy that breakfast and the company because you're thinking about that, how are you going to get down there, how are you going to land, and if you're actually going to die. Supper in a castle, that looks nice. I like the nice view. That king's rocking a bit. I'm worried that he's going to end up over the battlements. But yes, that does look fun. You're a bit open to kind of fire from archers, I guess. Or tea on the river. That also looks good. I think I'm going to go with tea on the river. It looks tranquil. Yeah. Best of those options, I think, is the tea on the river. Now, this is one of the classics and one of the hardest ones, I think. So that was quite a pleasant one. This is an unpleasant one, by contrast. Would you rather be made to eat? You'd be made to eat by this woman who might be your mother, or maybe an aunt, or a grandma, or just some sort of, I don't know, some tormentor. Maybe someone who's kidnapped you, is force-feeding you horrible things, I don't know. But you could have spider stew, doesn't sound nice at all. Slug dumplings, sounds disgusting also. Mashed worms, I think it just gets worse. Or drink the snail squash. Now, I don't know. They're all... I don't want any of those. No one would they? But I always felt like the drink the snail squash, it depends. Has it got the shells in as well? If they've removed the shells and they've just mashed up the inside of the snails into a drink that you could just sort of neck quickly, then I guess you could do it. It wouldn't be nice. I'm not saying it would be. But it's more doable than the others. Because I just can't... Spider stew, maybe I could eat spider stew. I don't know. But I'm not doing the worms and I'm not doing the slug dumplings. So if it's not including the snail shells, I'll go with the squash. But if you've got the like sharp bits of shell in there, I'd gag. I'd have to go for the spider stew. Okay, would you rather jump in the nettles for £5, swallow a dead frog for £20? Now this is an interesting one. Or stay all night in a creepy house for £50. You have to remember this was written some time ago. In 1978, £50 is quite a lot of money. Not so much by today's standards in 2021. Anyway, jumping in a massive load of nettles for £5. I wouldn't do that personally. That's not worth £5. That would hurt, itch. You'd have that for a day. In intense itching and swollen pain. No, wouldn't do it. I swallow a dead frog for £20. There's no way I would do that. Would be absolute. That's almost as bad as the ones on the previous page with the slug dumplings and whatnot. So, I would probably go for the creepy house. Because I think I could... I mean, it depends if it's cold. I could go with it being creepy, because I could just sleep and ignore it. If it was... But he looks cold, doesn't he? He's got a curtain wrapped around him. He's treading on the curtain as well, so he's just going to fall over there. Or is that a curtain and a rug? Oh, I don't know. There's a face there, look. So I'd probably go for the creepy house. Might end up regretting that. There's no way I'm doing the dead frog. And actually, £5, that's not going to go far, is it? What does £5 buy you in 2021? Not a lot. Right, would you rather... This is a tricky one. Would you rather be crushed by a snake? I'm assuming that means you're going to die. Or at least be hospitalised. Swallowed by a fish. Your chances aren't looking good there either, are they? You'll probably drown. Eaten by a crocodile. Looks pretty final, the way that's cutting off the legs. Or sat on by a rhino. I think that would suffocate. You would also die. So it looked like death either way, really. But maybe if you got swallowed by a fish, you could do like the Moby Dick thing. You could get inside the fish's tummy and you could somehow escape out of its bum or whatever, or back out of the mouth. I think I'd go with the fish because you've got a slim chance of survival. The others... I think you're just looking at death. You're looking at death in the face. So no thanks. Would you rather your dad did a dance at school? Now this is super humiliating. I would never do that to my children because, yes, you would never recover. Even the teacher looks mortified. Or your mum had a row in a cafe. So is it the dance at school with your dad or your mum had a row in a cafe? That is also very, very embarrassing. She's a proper Karen there, isn't she? Like, me, this tea's cold, whatever. This cake's not nice. So what would you choose? I suppose if your dad was really cool, you know, someone might film it, it might go viral, you might actually benefit from that. Your dad might become an internet sensation. Yeah, so we'll go with that one. Now then, would you rather clash the cymbals, bang the drum, or blow the trumpet? Well, they're all noisy. And they're all sort of fun, although I don't really like the sound of cymbals. I mean, this old man, granddad, whoever he is, doesn't like it. And actually, if I was crashing them, I wouldn't like it either, so I wouldn't do that. Bang the drum, that's kind of fun, or blow the trumpet. I suppose I'd always go with this one, because what I suppose it's implying is that you're able to cause a load of nuisance by just having a little parp on there in the middle of the night. So yeah, I'd do that. Would you rather have a monkey to tickle, a bear to read to, a cat to box with, a dog to skate with, a lot of choices here, a pig to ride, or a goat to dance with? Well, I could never really decide. Again, they're all sort of fun. Cat to box with, maybe, although it looks like the cat's a bit better than you at that. A bear to read with, that's kind of cosy, isn't it? Monkey to tickle, pig to ride. I don't think I'd want to dance with a goat, that's just a bit weird. Dog to skate with, maybe a dog to skate with, I don't know. Okay, this is an easy choice for me because we've got basically, would you rather be chased by a crab, a bull, a lion or a wolves? Let's discount the last three, shall we? Because the pack of wolves is going to catch you and eat you. They look hungry. A lion is going to catch you and eat you. It looks hungry. They're not going to show mercy. A bull, I've got my own personal phobia about being chased by bulls and cows in fields, having had similar things happen to me in the past whilst out walking, so I'm not going to do that one either. I'm going to go for the crab. The only thing about the crab is it's massive. Is this a perspective trick? Is the crab actually is the camera low down on the sand, making the crab look large and you're quite far away? Or is the crab actually massive? Is it a giant monster crab? So it doesn't look good, but I'm going to go with the crab because at least I think crabs can only go from side to side, so you can sort of outwit it by running in certain directions. And all the while you can be waving and banging that spade and bucket to try and get the attention of these people on the boat to say, look, I'm being chased and potentially eaten alive by a massive crab, help. So yeah, I'd do the crab. Oh, or would you like to ride a bull into a supermarket? Yes, of course. I'd much rather do this than be chased by any of those animals. So it looks fun, although he's about to fall off the back of this bull, going so fast. Everything's it's chaos. Everything's falling over, smashing. You know, this woman's falling back. Hope she doesn't hurt herself. The special offer sign's falling down. This guy's hanging from a light. Hope he makes it out alive. This woman's just diving onto the boxes just to get out of the way of all these falling products. And him, well, he looks a bit dodgy to me. He's got a dodgy expression, a bit suspicious. I wonder whether he's a shoplifter who's got caught up in the action. Possibly. Anyway, that looks a lot more fun than being chased by all these animals. Okay. Would you rather be lost in the fog, at sea, in a desert, in a forest, or in a crowd? Well, in the fog. I suppose I always felt in the fog it's easy. You can just stand still, can't you? Wait for the fog to clear, because eventually it will. And, you know, don't go anywhere and you won't actually, but you should be able to find your way back. At sea, I don't like that idea. You could drift into the middle of the ocean, never be found again, and you could dehydrate and get scurvy and be eaten by sharks and whatever. In the desert, I don't know, that doesn't look good either. You know, you could be a long way away from civilization and you might just dehydrate and die there, or go down, get in some quicksand or something. In a forest, maybe, although it's dark and it depends how big the forest is. You know, you might still be eaten by wolves again, or in a crowd. I always felt like in a crowd because you might just be able to find a policeman or, you know, someone or a shop and ask and get back to your parents more easily that way. Okay, would you rather help a fairy make magic, gnomes dig for treasure, an imp be naughty, a witch makes stew, or Santa Claus deliver presents? Well, they all look fun, don't they? But I think I always chose that. The magic of Santa Claus getting on that sleigh. Yeah, with the reindeer delivering presents. I'd do that, yeah. Would you rather live with a gerbil in a cage, a fish in a bowl, nudity alert, a parrot on a perch, a rabbit in a hutch, chickens in a coop, or a dog in a kennel? I was never quite sure. I felt like the gerbil in the cage, I wasn't sure. You're about the size of the gerbil, so it could bite you. Not sure about that. This one, would you drown? Would you have to keep coming up for air, or can you breathe underwater? Don't know. Yeah, a bit trapped in all of these cases. I probably used to go with the dog in the kennel as a child, but now, as a grown-up, I keep chickens, and I love chickens, and I would probably be with the chickens in the coop. Yeah, they look nice. Friendly chickens, not the kind of pecky chickens that you might get. They look nice. So go with the chickens in a coop. Or it's another or perhaps you would rather just go to sleep in your own bed. Oh, yes, please. Notice the chicken. You've still got the chickens with you on the wall, look. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I like sleeping, so I would choose that every time. Clever last page in this book. Made you want to go to sleep afterwards. Well done, John Burningham. Great book. And I finish with another bright orange happy beige double spread. And here we go. This is not a good image, is it? Not a good role model. Anyway, look at that, it was £3.50 originally. So it's seen better days, but it's been well read, well loved. Now, I've not looked, but I imagine that you can still buy this book. It's presumably been republished several times over the years. I suspect so anyway. So if you've not seen this book before, if you've got kids, or maybe if you just like it and you haven't got kids, I think it's worth investing in. I still look at it today. I mean, I think my kids are a bit old for it now, but I still like to look at it. It's a real heirloom, and it's fun. I'm sure it's a good book to have, you know, if you're a teacher as well, or something like that, because to explore these options with children, there's some really good talking points there. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe if you've not done that already, and we'll see you next time.